trauma is not accidental and it is not random. Trauma is a disease that can be studied and treated. It has factors that increase the disease, factors that decrease the disease, and ultimately what we try and do is lower the amount of the disease trauma across our community.
The thing about trauma is that it snatches people from their everyday lives and turns their world upside down. When the alert goes off, everything's mobilized. It's a team sport, and there's so many people involved. It's beautiful to behold when you see it work. It's a great, great system, and it's a joy to be a part of it.
It's hard to recognize that I make a difference in people's lives, but we do. It's changed who I am, it's changed how I feel, it's changed how I look at things day to day. It changes how you look at the sunrise.
Beauty is from within, truly. You learn that working with burn patients. It's about what's inside. It's what's in their heart. It's what's in the nurses and the doctors' hearts. It's what's in everybody together and what we can teach each other.
Hillary had actually been in very steady Labor Day traffic, and she lost control of the car somehow and rolled at least 3 times. Thank God, just as the accident was happening, a police officer was coming across the crest of the hill. So an ambulance was there quickly, and we understand that the hospital immediately started calling LifeFlight before she ever got there. We were saying goodbye. We handed Hillary over to the LifeFlight nurses, Joe and Tom, and we reminded Hillary with our last kiss that she couldn't give up.
She had basically flown through the air at least 75 feet and didn't have a scratch on her hardly. But the problem was, of course, her head injury. And, you know, I don't know, I can't remember all the medical terms and all that stuff, but they knew that she was in trouble.
I gave her to God, but when we got here and we talked to the doctors and the nurses, it took her back because they gave us hope, but cautiously so.
For me, you know, I just knew she was in the best place.
There's something special on that floor, and I hope no one ever has to experience it, but if you do, it gets inside of you, and you just know, just that extra special care and love.
You just thank God you were able to do all you could at the time, whatever that is. And we think Vanderbilt's
pretty awesome. Probably the most alone day you ever feel in your life is when you're waiting for that LifeFlight team to come and rescue your loved one and take them to Vanderbilt. But maybe not more so than the day your child or loved one, your trauma patient, is coming home. None of us are prepared for what the next steps are that we need to do.
With some, especially when it comes to head injuries, it's just going to be a long, hard journey for them, and your heart really goes out to them. It's amazing when they come back, and when they come back, they're just thank yous written all over them. It reminds us why we do our jobs, and reminds me why I'm here, and yeah, this is why I do it.
We had just completed flight after flight after flight, and one of those flights was a small child that I was pretty sure would not live. After that flight, I'm restocking, and I get a page that we've got yet again another flight. Back to the helicopter, and I begin to receive word that it's another child. We get launched, and all we hear is that it's approximately a 4 or 5-year-old child that's been struck by a car. So we go to the scene. The initial thing that I see is a beautiful little girl lying on the stretcher. And as I began to get in the EMS unit, one of the personnel leans back over to her and puts his hand back on her chest and resumes CPR. This child, her heart has just stopped. I've got to act, and I've got to act now. So we loaded this child onto the helicopter, and I knew within minutes I'm going to be at Vanderbilt Children's. And I'm going to turn the care of this child over to the team that I've trained with, the team that I trust, and I'm hoping that there's something I haven't thought of. And within minutes, they too were at the end of the options. So they pronounced, and we left the room to do what we do to get the helicopter back ready, because there's going to be another child. But I also have that little girl tapping me on the shoulder anytime that I need it, anytime I step foot in an ambulance or on the scene. Telling me, you couldn't save me, but be there for the next one. Because you have to carry on. You have to be there.
I have learned to tell your children you love them every day, to tell your husband and your mother and your father and your friends. I have learned that we are so fortunate to have LifeFlight and Vanderbilt and the brilliance of this incredible medical center.
I used to sit at home and hear the helicopters coming, and it's just changed that. You know that those helicopters are coming to save someone's life. You know, they're just angels.
May the wings of the angels